Hello YouTubers, this is another video I have. Is 2009 BMW X5 3.0 X drive. This one has the oil pan leaking. For this car you have to pretty much remove all the front suspension, you have to take the engine cradle, and you have to make sure that you support the engine correctly. I'm going to show you, already got it apart. This is also for myself in the future information, so I kind of like remember the procedure too. Well, you have to remove both side suspension. I tried to remove in this vehicle. I had the nut for the axle, the CV, the constant velocity axle removed, but it never came out, so I have to take the whole knee. That's what we call the knee, the knuckle, and the lower control arms. And so I just left the struts attached to the car in both sides. So this has 21 millimeter on the front, 21 millimeter right here. Then the front control arm is an 18. I'm going to show you on the car also where those are located. It's very easy, very basic. It's just time consuming. This is like around 13-14 hours total what you have to do. You have to remove both calipers. Those are right here, E18s. Those are the bolts that holds the calipers, and I have as you will see, I have a bungee holder from the upper control arm, so it's not resting on the brake hose. I left the rack and pinion installed because the rack and pinion should come down on the engine subframe. I just removed this 4 bolts, 16 millimeters, or that's the socket size or the range size that you're going to use. And I kind of like left it resting in there. I put a couple of plastic wire tires to secure. I put a jack on the transmission on the back with a piece of wood, so it's also holding. And I put a stand on the front, right in the crankshaft pulley or vibration damper. It has a rubber in there, so it's just holding the weight too. I'm going to show you. This is how the engine looks from underneath with that removed. That's the oil pan. I already removed the gasket. This is the other side. What I also do is before I remove the subframe or engine cradle, I make my own marks. I scratch right here, so when I put this, it's going to be in the exact same position. If they move a little, you will have a problem with the caster or camber on the car, so you want to make sure that you put them into the right position. This also has a kind of like an oil cooler, or sorry, a coolant cooler, extra cooler for the steering, on the front, and it's held by two 10 millimeter bolts on the front of the engine cradle right here, so you have to work those out to remove. This is where the rack and pinion will sit. I left the sway bar attached to here. I removed the two bolts for each motor mount. Those are let me see the socket for that. Those are E14s. These are the motor mounts that I'm talking about right here. So you just remove those two bolts and you let the motor mount attached to the engine block. You have to remove on the back and the transmission. Between the transmission and the oil pan, there is also 3 bolts. Those are E10s. Reverse storage right here. One here, one on the other side, and another one just a little higher than that one. And then you have to remove all the bolts from the oil pan that I think are E12s. You cannot reuse the bolts on the oil pan, so make sure when you're doing these jobs you have to get all the bolts because they're one-time use. I have the oil for the car right here, everything OEM. So I got the engine oil, the filter, got the new gasket. I also have the front differential fluid because you have to remove the front differential from the oil pan. This is a all-wheel drive car, so again it's very easy and simple. This is the differential. It's just held by four bolts. Those are 18 millimeter socket. You have to remove the hose from the this is like a breather for the differential to not create pressure. Let me show you the hoses from the tap that stays in there. Where is it? Right here. This is a squeeze type hose, so you just gotta squeeze those and then bring it up. There is also two hoses. This is the transmission cooler. Actually, this is the transmission cooler. I have to correct that. And you just lose the bolt. And there is another one here. I'm pointing, and that's it's like a bypass for the coolant. It's attached to the oil pan. You have to remove those two. And then I'm going to start putting everything together. I have to still clean the oil pan and put the gasket in place, but I want to just show you guys that this can be possible to do without removing transmission or engine. You just got to be careful how you support your engine. Again, I'm not responsible for what you guys do yourself. I'm just showing you that can be done. I hope this helps somebody. Again, I know this is not the right way to show a video because I already got it apart, but it's sometimes time is in a matter for me because I got to keep going. I don't have my tripod today with me, so I just start doing it. But at least I want to show you guys what I've been doing. All right. All right, I got the oil pan installed, clean, and let me show you too. So that's the oil pan back together with all brand new bolts. Let me show you how they look when they're new and why they can never be reused to. Actually, this one in here, I got it tied up. So these are the bolts right here. These are the brand new bolts, and they have this kind of like a lock, like the Loctite, you know, that you can put on the tread, so you cannot reuse this again. And there are all the old ones in there. I got some left for the back. I still got to put, you know, the back of the transmission. So I want to show you step by step a little bit of, you know, how it's going to be the at least the assembly. Hopefully you guys like the video too. All right, I'm gonna keep going. All right, I got the front differential attached or installed. Like I said, it's for number 18 socket bolts. That's the hose, the breather hose on top of the differential. I have no oil in it, so I'm going to remove this plug so I don't forget to put the oil in. Actually, let's see, that should be, it's very hard to do it with one hand. Well, you're gonna have to take my word on that one. It's T, what did I know? That's an Allen 14 millimeters. So I'm going to remove, like I said, the plug to put the oil. The drain is here, and that's the one to put the oil on it. I'm not going to do it yet till I put the axles in place, but that's I gotta make sure that I remove that plug so I don't forget. I always do that, so if I see the plug on my trades, it's because no oil is installed. I also put the other side of the pan. I remove all this stuff to take weight off the oil pan so I can work easier. This is just an extension for the axle on the passenger side. Is the long axle, and those are 13 millimeters. Inside this piece in the differential, there is an O-ring. I put always gray silicone on it. No matter what, that's a fix. It's not moving, so I don't want any leaks. Before you put the differential, you have to make sure that you leave this bolt, the upper bolt. Let me see if I can show it to you right here. Let's see if you that shadow. Okay, that's the bolt you have to leave on the differential, because I didn't remove this, not even the motor mount. So if you leave, just loosen it up, and when you install, you leave it in there. Otherwise, it doesn't fit because I will hit the motor mount. Okay, I still gotta put the bracket of the oxygen sensor wires in those rear bolts. So I just again show you step by step what I'm going. Okay, I'm gonna keep going with the assembly. All right, I got the soft frame attached, installed, and torque. The rack and pinion is still loose. I want to show you, the marks that I was telling you. You see the circle that I did around that? That's how you want to, like, at least double check, make sure it's in the right position. The soft frame is attached by 6 bolts. They're 21 millimeter socket. It's a little tricky to install It's kind of like you have to fight a little bit in order to get the transmission cooler in place, which is right here. This is still not bolted. I got the, like I said, you know, the rack and pinion is completely loose. The hoses are all loose. That's the cooler hoses and power steering. This bellow boot is damaged, but I think it's just missing the clamp. I'm gonna put a clamp on it. Again, you know, everything is going smooth. I already put the bracket for the sensors on the back, the one I was telling you before. This has a 10 millimeter on here and 3 E10s on the back. I already put also the front propeller shaft. That's a 16 millimeter. I also want to show you guys what I did too. When you're removing a propeller shaft, make sure that you make a mark from the propeller, that gray mark I did, and on where it's attached, which is here, so you keep the balance of the shaft. And, so everything is going smooth, and we'll just keep going, you know, assembling everything. All right, I already installed the rack and pinion, the 4 bolts, 16 millimeter socket. Those are very easy to install. I also want to show you this. I got this from Cornwall. It's a swivel wrench, ratchet and wrench, very handy. It's very strong. I got this from him because they're very good quality. They're lifetime warranty, so I always use those. I also want to show you. Right now I'm putting the suspension in place. Again, because I couldn't remove the axle from the hub itself, so I have to fight with this. So you have to be, when something like this happens, you have to be creative. I'm using this cart in there. I lower the car so I can kind of like help myself and being able to do it alone. So what I do is I put the bolt on the strut bottom to the lower control arm. It's still not attached on the inside, but that's good enough to swivel so I can get the axle inside in place. When you get in the axle, make sure that you put the cotter pin, the front cotter pin on the axle facing the opening down, so it goes in very easy. And I'm gonna put the bolt for here. I already also put all the bolt for the hoses on. It's just little things there. I'll hold the bracket that holds the hoses for the rack and pinion and the oil cooler and so on. All right, let's keep going. It's a little hard to work sometimes by yourself, but it's not that I cannot ask for help, but I like always to be able to do it alone because I don't like to bother nobody else. All right, I got the suspension installed. I want to show you how I did that. All right, so you know that I removed here because the axles didn't come apart, so that is a 16 millimeter. The caliper bolts are E16s. Then you have two 21s right here and right here, and then a number 18 on here. So what I do, again, you saw in the video that I used that card to help me out to install. So what I do is I put the bolt on the upper part of the knuckle, and I don't connect anything in here. Well, sorry, let me go back. I put this one first, so the knee is held by the strut. Then I put the upper bolt on the knuckle, that one. I leave the two arms disconnected in here because I need to put the axles in place. Again, you leave the ring opening to the bottom, and then by these two arms being loose and you don't have the steering connected yet to the knuckle either, you can swing the whole knee in, and like it's very easy because the whole weight is going to help you out to get the axle inside. So super easy. That is a good tip so you guys don't kill yourself trying to get it back in place. Same thing in the other side. This is a little harder because it's a longer axle. Same procedure. I have everything tied up. It's looking very good. Right now I put the differential fluid on it. That is the plug that you see right there. So that one is done. I still got to put the engine on. I got to put all the undercovers, but pretty much the bulk part of the work is done. The suspension is a little heavy, so still my back hurts. That's the problem when you get old. Well, I hope you guys are enjoying the video. Again, I'm sorry I didn't record a disassemble, but I think this is also very important sometimes to see how you install parts. All right, guys.